Welcome to Ink and Inspirations. In this video, I have a do-it-yourself wedding favor idea using the 2 tags die in the Big Shot. Here is the little favor that I created using Whisper White cardstock and the Big Shot. I've used the 2 tags die and cut these previously. I was able to cut 2 at one time and probably could have done 3 or 4, but for the sake of this video, I just cut 2. And I have my Big Shot, and on tab 1 I also have the Vintage Wallpaper Textured Impressions folder, and I'm putting both of those in the Big Shot on top of the cutting plate and putting one on top, and then I'm going to roll it through, and this is going to put that beautiful texture on both of these pieces of cardstock for the favor. Alright. Now these are pretty stuck together. You can see I had a little bit of trouble getting those apart. And the impressions are very pronounced and really pretty. So it's going to make a really pretty wedding favor. Alright, now the next thing I need to do is find the score lines. You have to look closely because the impression has kind of lightened or made the little fold line a little harder to see, but it is still there, so just fold it up and crease on those lines. And then I'm going to take some snail adhesive and I'm going to adhere them together, those 2 bottom tabs together, just one on top of the other. And the snail seems to hold pretty well on these. Sometimes if it was a heavier cardstock, I may use sticky strip, but this is working just fine. Alright, so there we have the base, and I'm going to use, and it looks like the last little piece of my Whisper White taffeta ribbon. And I'm going to trim off the edge there because it's the end. And I'm going to match the top so that the little hole that is included in the die cut, and I'm going to thread the ribbon right through there. Okay, and all I do is tie a little knot, a double knot up at the top, and this is what holds the favor together. Now this could be created in any color. Even could have used a different color ribbon according to what your bridal colors are, and it's you know, it's limitless as to what color and paper and patterns you decide to use. I'm taking a gold glimmer brad and I'm going to just add a little bit of extra bling by putting it through that hole, that same hole that the ribbon went through, and I'm going to carefully open up the brad prongs in the back and open them up, and then the ribbon in the back kind of hides those prongs. You can position it over it. Okay, so now I want a sentiment to put on the front. You could use a monogram, you could use a saying, you could put the date, but for this video I wanted to use this little stamp from Wordplay. It says Happy I Do Day, and I'm stamping it in Versamark on Whisper White. Then I'm going to sprinkle on some gold Stampin' Emboss powder, and I'm going to heat emboss it with my heat tool. Now I'm just doing one sentiment now, but you could cut a section of cardstock and do several of these at one time, which would make the process go a lot quicker. So you know, in an assembly line fashion, you could just roll out a bunch of these in no time. Okay, now I'm going to get an oval punch and just position it so that that sentiment fits right inside of it. And then I'm going to use some snail, and I'm going to attach it to what is the front of the favor. And I kind of tuck it a little bit underneath that brad to look like it's the brad holding it in place, but in actuality it is the snail. Okay, and then I wrapped some pieces, and these are just those Hershey's miniatures, and I believe the piece of designer paper was 1.5 inches by 3, and I just adhered it with snail and covered the original candy wrapper, and you can see I just slid them in there and they stay just fine. If you have any questions, email me at lisa@inkandinspirations.com. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.